Yaza here with freeballetdanceclasses.com, and we're doing a coffee talk today. And I wanted to talk to you today about the troupe issues. You know, I have so many questions, not just about choreography for troupes, because a lot of people are asking me how to modify some of the choreographies that I posted for troupes, or if I can actually post choreographies specifically for troupes. And so it just made me think, you know, this troupe thing, first of all, I used to get these questions all the time, like maybe a few years ago, and I think all of a sudden it kind of faded, you know? And so that kind of made me think about myself too, and my troupe experience, and what did I all go through, and what I learned from it. And I thought, you know what, let's share that and see what you guys' feedback would be, because it's very interesting to me to see what other people think, because I honestly think my troupe experience is a typical one, and I hate to think the opposite, because that would be really sad, but I think it is, but you know, I'd be curious to see what you guys' experience is. But for me, if you don't know much about me yet and my journey with belly dancing, I am from Morocco. Casablanca, grew up there. I'm actually a Berber from the Berber villages of Morocco. And so I know a lot about Berber dancing, but also, you know, when I lived in the city in Morocco, I got introduced to the art of belly dance for the first time. And, you know, as a child, I mean, I moved to the city in Morocco when I was about, what, 6 years old, I think. And so I started kind of getting into it, loved the music, loved the dancing, but it was always something taboo in my family, and I shared that with you guys before in a previous coffee talk about how that was kind of taboo, and I had to always do it hiding, and I've done it my entire life in Morocco, hiding until I left Morocco. So it's not something that was like, you know, there for a couple of years. I mean, it was basically present for my entire life in Morocco. And I kind of gotten serious about it later in life in Morocco, when I was kind of more interested in the styles and the music, you know, really get into the technicalities of it, because, you know, I started working out more, and I was very interested in the, you know, body mechanics in general, and how different moves are done, whether they're kickboxing or push-ups or pull-ups or piston drops. To me, it made no difference. It's all body movements, and I was very curious about the mechanics of the body doing that. So I kind of got very, like, scientific about it, you know, for a while. So, but anyways, and then when I moved to the United States, I was kind of in shock of what the belly dance scene here was. I love the fact, for me, it was kind of you know, it was a breath of fresh air. I was relieved to find an environment where belly dancing was not looked at as a taboo, where I didn't have to hide it, or you were not looked at as a whore if you were belly dancing, basically, which is how it's looked at in every single Arab country. I don't care what Arab country you go to, everybody looks at belly dancers that way. Even the ones that say, oh, we're open, like, I don't know, if you're in Lebanon or Syria or whatever, I mean, you're still looked at by, in majority of the society, as being a whore. You know, it's like being a stripper, basically. So it was nice to see that being looked at differently in the United States, although I'm pretty sure not everybody in the United States, I mean, I know not everybody in the United States looks at belly dancers as just artists and dancers. I mean, a lot of Americans still look at belly dancers as basically sluts and, you know, and strippers too. But the majority was not like that. And not only that, but you were given this performance space, you know, you were given this experience to perform, you know, to show off your art. In cultural events, on stage, you know, with ticket sales. You know, I mean, there's nothing like that in the Arab world, unless you're in hotels, you know, because it's mainly something for tourists. That's how it's looked at. So it was definitely a breath of fresh air. It was just like this burden that you can let go of. But then, at the same time, being Arab and watching how your art, your culture is represented, it was kind of shocking to me. And for me, I moved to the United States. I'm sure a lot of other Arab women that that are following our site, excuse me, have moved to maybe like England or France, and I've gotten so many different emails from those people. You know, I'm sure the reaction is going to be a little bit different, but maybe not completely different. But for me, my reaction was like, wow, this is such a relief, but oh my God, this is not a very good representation of my art and my culture. And so that kind of was a shock to me. And in the United States, for me, the different part about it is that Americans love this idea of fast food culture. You know, it's a fast food country, it's a fast, everything country, and so even culture is looked at as, you know, this fast idea of a culture. It's like, that's what I like to call the fast food culture. It's this bits, you know, it's in bits of your culture thrown in here and there. We don't care about the authenticity or the history, where it came from, or what it represents, or what it means, but we just want it. That's it. We just want it, okay? Yeah, I don't care about how your art is performed in your country. I don't care about what it means. I don't care about the history of it, but I just want a girl in beads on stage. You know, and you look at that and you're like, oh, not sure. So a part of me at the time, you know, in the US was like, I kind of want to be out there and represent. But at the same time, part of me was like, I'm not representing that. You know, so I kind of rejected it in a way. Anyways, moving on, I thought that it was, for me, it was the time actually where the belly dance superstars were becoming big, and the troupe idea in general was becoming big. Actually, I think personally that the troupe idea became quite big in the West and mostly in the United States because of the belly dance superstars. And they are to be thanked for something, you know, definitely. Whether you love him or hate him, you got to thank him for something, which is bringing the art of belly dance to the level of performance on stage respectfully. You know, they're one of the very few troupes to do it at that level, represent it nicely, give it more of a, I don't know, like a class. I mean, they really gave the art of belly dance a class, because a lot of belly dancers before did it on stage but didn't do it with class. You know, didn't do it professionally like that. So I think they brought the element of profession and class, and, you know, the element of professionalism in dance to a whole different level when it comes to belly dancing. You know, like somebody said before, belly dance superstars are the equivalent of river dance for belly dancing. You know, what river dance did for Irish dancing, belly dance superstars did for the art of Oriental dance. And I really do agree with that. But I think it really was something that lasted for a few years and was hot for a few years. And I don't know the dynamics of the belly dance superstar, so I'm not going to go into that because I have no right to talk about it at all. But from an audience perspective, I would say they definitely did something great for belly dancing when it comes to that. And I think when they came big and they were very big, every belly dancer out there was like, I'm going to start in my troupe, or I'm going to join a troupe, you know? And for me, it was that same time when I was kind of getting into the belly dancing in the United States. Belly dancer superstars were big, and I said, well, I want to get me a troupe, you know. I want that professionalism level, and I admired that because it was by far the best stage you can get to as far as a belly dancer, and let alone an Arab belly dancer for me. You know, somebody who came from a place where that's looked at as a taboo. You're a whore, you're a slut. I didn't look at it that way. Then I came to a level where it was like, oh, you can do it professionally here. It's okay. And then somebody says, oh wow, you can do it at this level. You know, like your river dance level. It was impressive. So then I thought, well, I can start a troupe, and I did. Got a bunch of my students, and then soon it was one girl telling another girl, and then I kind of got into it, and then, you know, basically I had when I started, it was 15 girls. Nobody has probably ever belly danced except for maybe 2 or 3. Honestly, I mean, it was shocking. And even the other ones probably had like 2 or 3 classes with me when I used to teach lots of belly dance classes. And so these girls like honestly think that they had 2 or 3 belly dance classes, and you know how to do a hip and drop and a hip kick, you know, I mean, you are a belly dancer. And I looked at them and I was just like, oh, you guys are so adorable. And they were so cute, and they had the best intentions. But in my mind, I'm thinking, you know nothing about belly dancing. Absolutely nothing. But by then I also learned, as an Arab belly dancer, you don't judge Americans and get them to do something, because they don't, honestly. Americans take a lot of things personally, so when you criticize, you know, the way your art is portrayed, it's like criticizing them when they're doing it, where I'm actually not really criticizing the individuals, I'm criticizing the art. But that's a whole different debate. So I thought, okay, you know, these girls have the best intentions, they're beautiful, and they, you know, they love to perform, so I'm going to use their passion and teach them the technique. Instead of criticizing their technique, I'm going to teach them the technique and put it all together in a package that is beautiful to represent. And we did, and we had amazing times, good times, bad times, like every troupe, and the dynamics of the troupes are very, very interesting, you know. so we did that, and we did so many performances, and we had amazing audiences that really appreciated what we did. But then it was like this thing that faded. It faded for obviously multiple reasons. You can't just like look at every troupe and say, oh, all the troupes fade for the same reasons. Absolutely not. Because the troupe is basically an individual, a bunch of individuals. It's like you say in a country, it's a bunch of individuals. You cannot judge an entire country based, on actions of one or two. Therefore, you cannot do the same thing with a troupe. But in my case, it was so many different things. A lot of the people that joined my troupe were young and experienced college girls, high school girls. So they had the passion, they had the drive, and that's something you have at that age. It's just a beautiful thing. I mean, we all would pay millions of dollars for it today in our 30s and 40s and 50s, But it's something to be admired about that young age, and we had a fantastic time, and those women were all beautiful and inspiring to me in so many ways. And I have absolutely no regrets about my experience, but it's something that faded, and I think every single person kind of moved on with their life. Like the high school girl became a college student, or the college student got a job, so every single person moved on. And it would have been so easy for me to just keep on, bring in more members to our troupe from the high school girls and the college students, but it was just not worth it after a while, because it was like mentally exhausting for me. To have not just the challenges, the individual challenges, and of having a bunch of girls in one group, it was like, oh my God, I had to deal with all this like little personal stuff. But also, I didn't really want to take people that were not even dancers, let alone belly dancers, have to teach them everything from scratch and put them on stage and make them stage material. I mean, like, I look back at our experience and I'm amazed at what we accomplished, for people that don't dance, to put them on stage and do like amazing performances. I mean, they're not like belly dance superstars level or anything, but they were beautiful performances. They were perfect. Some of them were just like extraordinary performances. It was beautiful, and it faded because of all that. And then after a while, I really personally got exhausted and tired. I mean, it's so much energy to be the artistic director, to be the advertiser for the troupe, to be the event planner, to be the trainer, teacher, to be everything for the group, to be even the costume person. I was everything, and it just kind of got too tiring, and I said to myself, well, I'm just going to take it easy. So those of you who want to still be part of the troupe, I'm not going to hire new people to be in. I don't want the large group anymore. I want a small group, and I want it to be people that can do stuff for themselves, by themselves, so I don't have to do all the work. Well, a few members, said, yes, I will do that. But the truth is that nobody ever does everything for themselves and by themselves. There's like maybe one or two, okay? And I was left with some that did, some that did not, and I was just like, and then it creates a certain dynamic of, I mean, you can call it anything you want to call it, but it was bad energy. It was negative energy in the group where somebody takes care of something and somebody does not. And then eventually the person that does not gets a little bit of that feedback of bad energy. Therefore, that person doesn't feel good. Therefore, there's no reason of being in the group. Then you're gone. And then you're done, down to maybe 2 or 3 people. And then by then you're like, well, I don't really care to have a troupe anymore. But also for me personally, it was like I could do everything you girls do by myself. And I actually create everything in the troupe when I was there. I did everything from choreography to planning to you name it, I did it, okay? The girls that I had in my troupe, the few small groups of my troupe, basically showed up and performed my choreographies. And I was just like, I don't know if I want to like deal with, I mean, there's a beautiful aspect to having a troupe, which is fantastic, and you're not going to find that energy anywhere else. But at the same time, there's that bad side. And I think you, at some point, as a dancer, have to make the decision of which side is bringing like positive energy to your life. And to me, it was definitely not the group side, it was more the individual side. Me choreographing was fulfilling. Me dancing was fulfilling. And the other thing too was I missed tremendously the idea of performing by myself and doing solos and improvising. Because I get to dance to the songs I love, I get to sing to the music, I get to dance to the words, which I love, the poetry, the air of poetry, rather than the music necessarily. It brought like that heartwarming aspect of my culture back to me. And I said to myself, my enjoyment is when I dance by myself and I have to improvise. And the worst part of it all is having to do just be this mechanical, robotic, choreography with other people. And I decided, well, then I'm done. I'm done with the choreography thing. I want to be able to, because, when you get to that point where you don't enjoy something that you love so much, there's something completely wrong. And to give up something that you love so much, like dancing, just for the perfection or for the choreography or to balance, the other members of your group, it's not fair to you. So you have to gain that love back by giving up other people. And it's something we have to do in our lives in general for so many different aspects, not just dancing. So I decided I'm going to do that, and so I quit the troupe, quit everything, and I just started dancing by myself. And let me tell you, I have never done anything better in my life than that. This brought so much enjoyment to my life. And in fact, actually, which is really interesting, was right after I quit the troupe that I started freeballedanceclasses.com, because I said I'm going to do something by myself on my own that is actually my style. And this is it. And and it's been a much more fantastic experience than I could have ever imagined it would be. And what a ride it was with you guys. So I know I've been talking so fast and giving you so much information, but I'm just trying to tell you how my experience with the troupe was, and how I got started, and how it all ended, and why it ended, and my reflections on it. And I think everybody has a different experience, of course. And I would love to hear those experiences, because there's so many people that get so many questions and get so worked up about the whole troupe idea, and then they think there's something wrong with them, or maybe there's something they need to correct. And so I think sharing our troupe experiences will be really fabulous, and it helps so many people that are still enjoying that troupe experience. And for those of you who are still enjoying it, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm jealous in a way that you are enjoying it, because for me it's been great. And if I did not miss my individuality as a dancer, I would totally be into it right now and still in it. So I would love to hear your feedback, your experience, and kind of share our challenges as dancers who have been or are still troupe members. So hopefully I can hear from you. Thank you so much for listening to me for so long. We'll talk again, maybe another coffee talk. Maybe it'll be shorter. I feel this one was too long. My coffee's getting cold. I'll get to it, and I'll see you guys next time on freeballedanceclasses.com. Take care for now. Bye-bye.